Hello and good morning. It's January 20th, 2025, and we're tracking a historic winter storm in the deep south. There's alerts all across the Gulf Coast, stretching from Texas to the Carolinas right now. We're also tracking extremely cold weather, stretching from the Dakotas all the way to the deep south after this winter storm leaves. So we'll get to all of it, but first let's take a look at the alerts that are issued right now. So here's a look at the National Weather Service and their alerts that they have put out. You can see here quite clearly we have a winter storm that is expected for the south. These pink colors here, these are winter storm warnings. This is where we're most confident of seeing some sort of winter weather. Then in these purple colors is where we have winter weather advisories in effect. This is where we're also confident with winter weather. However, it just seems like the impacts are less than in the pink areas of the winter storm warnings. Then stretching out here through Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, the Panhandle of Florida, and into the Carolinas right now, we have this light blue color, which indicates a winter storm watch. This is either because the event is over 24, 48 hours away, or we don't have that much confidence. So, for example, in central Mississippi and central Alabama right now, this is a confidence issue. We don't know how far north the snow will get, and we don't know exactly how much you would get if that happens. So that's why we still have watches in effect in eastern Louisiana and stretching into these states here. Then stretching into Georgia and the Carolinas and Florida, this is where it's a timing issue. The storm is just too far away to be exactly certain. However, as we get closer, I'm sure winter storm warnings will be issued, especially stretching through central and southern Georgia, through the Carolinas, eventually into the Outer Banks, although I'm not confident about the Carolina forecast right now, and also through the remainder of the Panhandle. I think there will be winter storm warnings issued for you guys there as well. Then through the northern portion of Florida here, this is where winter weather advisories could be issued for the first time in years there. I don't think we've seen a winter weather alert there in at least 14 years, if I'm not mistaken. So that is quite historic for this. Generally, this storm as a whole is extremely historic. So let's go break down hour by hour and state by state how this is going to play out. All right, what you're looking at right now is the HRRR model, or the High Res Rapid Refresh model. We like this model because it's super high resolution and it updates every hour. So it's the most new information that we have right now. And what we're looking at is the reflectivity on radar. The blue is snow, green is rain. And you can see here, I think for southeastern Texas stretching into western and southwestern Louisiana, it should start off as probably some mix or even some rain. And then as we get into the early morning hours of the 21st, that is tomorrow, Tuesday, it looks like that snow line will really crash southward to the Gulf Coast here. You can see the mix line is in that purple zone. This is where we could see sleet and freezing rain here. I think the potential for snow right now, the bullseye spot will be somewhere in here where the snow will last the longest, probably with the least mixing issues expected. This is 5 a.m. Let's pull it forward now. This is 9 a.m. on Tuesday. The morning commute is going to be a mess for areas like Houston. Harris County is going to be a mess. Then southwestern parishes of Louisiana will also be a mess. But also by this time, 9 a.m., we should see that mix line starting to come south of New Orleans, which means by the morning commute, New Orleans could also be a mess. Really, the I-10 corridor right now is a major concern for the Tuesday morning commute because of the heavy snow expected. Then, as we get into midday on Tuesday, the snow line moves further south, and even the coastal parishes near the mouth of the Mississippi River could see that transition to snow for the first time in years. You could see accumulating snow there. The snow also stretches toward the Panhandle. This could be the heaviest snow you guys have seen in years there, with a couple of inches expected, actually. By the afternoon on Tuesday, you can see the snow is now starting to spread into the southeastern United States, and also I'm expecting the potential for some mixing to stretch all the way down to Tallahassee and even further southward. If I pull this further into the night on Tuesday, this is 8 o'clock at night. Snow is now stretching into the Carolinas through central and southeastern South Carolina. Really, the eastern portion of the Carolinas is going to be affected by this storm. You can also see here, this is when the snow starts to move out of the Louisiana counties at around Tuesday night time frame. Then along the Florida Gulf Coast, you could also be seeing some mix near Tallahassee and Pensacola. But even further west here, you can see along the coast, it will be snowing at a pretty decent pace. Then, as we get further along, this is around midnight. So this is midnight Wednesday. We could see heavy, extremely heavy snow in the central panhandle region of Florida, stretching into southeastern Georgia, where we could also see some sleet and mixing issues there. Then, this is what I find incredible. We could see snow all the way to the Outer Banks through this storm. I don't think they've seen snow in quite some time either. So this will be super interesting to find out exactly how much snow is expected. Again, the further we go out, the less confidence we have for how much snow these areas see. So just stay tuned with your local National Weather Service office for the latest information. Now let's take a look at snowfall. You can see here I'm expecting a bullseye area somewhere in southern central Louisiana, stretching into southeastern Texas. I think this model is a little bit bullish in terms of snowfall. Like, it has snow stretching all the way into Mexico. I don't think that's a big possibility. I think the snow line will end somewhere there, and Houston ends up with 3 to 5 inches of snow instead of the 7 to 8 that this model is forecasting right now. I do agree with this forecast in terms of a bullseye. However, I think these numbers are a little bit on the high end. Of course, this could certainly happen. It's just on the high end for me. New Orleans looks a little bit on the high end too. This model's forecasting 5 to 7 inches of snow. I don't think you'll be able to get there. I think generally we're looking at 3 to 5 inches of snow in New Orleans. Then even down to the coast, you can see here, this model is putting out incredible numbers, 3 to 5 inches. I think it's just a little bullish. And if we turn to the southeast coast, I will remind you that these numbers are a little bit uncertain as of this point. There still could be some shifts to the north. There could be some shifts to the south. Everything is still on the table. Really, after Louisiana is where the confidence starts to drop off just a little bit. I do think we'll see a swath of snow of 3 to 5 inches stretching into southeastern Georgia, southern counties of Alabama and Mississippi, and also western areas of the Panhandle. Then stretching into the Carolinas, there could be a swath of snow, 3 to 5 inches there as well. However, models have been shifting this band north, south, every model run, so we're not sure exactly where that band of snow will set up. We'll continue to watch it for you though, of course. Now finally, let's take a look at the temperatures because these are going to be wild. This is Wednesday morning with the snowpack on the ground. You can see in the southern and the deep south, especially Louisiana, actual air temperatures could be nearing the single digits there, and the coldest air, this is the polar vortex, you can see very clearly here, will be in the Midwest and the Northeast Wednesday morning. If I pull this out, you can see the temperatures do become a little bit more manageable by this weekend. This is the 27th. You can see warm air begins to return, and that snow should quickly melt by this weekend, hopefully, because this storm that is coming is certainly not normal for this region, and I don't think we've seen such a powerful storm since 1895. So this is going to be a once-in-a-generation lifetime storm, so definitely watch out for this one. That's all the information I have for now. Please stay safe and tune in for more updates.